This is Adventures in Cadillac on 107.1 The Drive. This is our collaboration between this here radio station and our friends at the Cadillac Area Visitors Bureau. And we have Lindsay Westorp, the marketing manager, with us today, and we have a special guest in the studio. There's much to talk about. Lindsay, we're post-Labor Day. Our Labor Day events, everything summer-related is done, so now we're turning to fall.
It is. It went so fast.
Didn't it, though?
I think
the older I get, the faster summer goes.
Is that how this works?
Jeff is nodding his head.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I'm the oldest I've ever been, and this is the fastest one I've ever seen.
None of us are getting any younger, unfortunately.
We
will.
It was a quick one. So, yes, so much happened, and it was a record year in a few different ways, and we're still waiting on our occupancy numbers, but we know they're really good. So when we can report back on that, maybe next month, we'll have some more exciting news to share of that it was a record summer.
Summer was everything we hope the winter of 2024-25 will be, right?
Yeah, I'm feeling good about the level of snow and ice that we'll have, ice on the lakes that we should have, because I don't feel like it could be worse.
Are you a believer in the almanac, the Farmer's Almanac?
We've tried to look at some of those things, and nothing really seems to stick for us. So we just cross our fingers.
It's like the snow in the wintertime; it didn't stick.
Yeah, no kidding. No, I think we're gonna be better this winter.
How could it be any worse?
That's my logic on it. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So, what do we want to? Do we want to chat with our guest here, or do you want to go over the list of events, or are we going to get started with Jeff?
I'm excited to have Jeff here talk about the Carl T. Johnson Center and everything they have going. It's a really, really valuable piece in our tourism landscape here in Cadillac, and they do a lot of really cool things. So I'm excited to hear what he says, and I'm taking notes here.
Jeff Lash works with the DNR, and I just think that the Carl T is an untapped resource in the community. I don't think a lot of people know about it. Certainly not enough people know about it.
They don't.
Would you agree?
I agree.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that come in for the first time, and we always wondered what this building was. We think this an office building. Well, when they come in and they see the museums that we have with all the artifacts that we have and all that, their eyes are wide open, like, wow, this is really cool. And so it is. It's great to see that on there. And sometimes I'll lead people around and show them the different things, and from when Carl T. actually stuff from himself. The relics that he's got. I can't say relics because I'm probably right there too, but it's a great place. We have all kinds of programming there for kids and adults. The OSA classes we've been really busy this year with the OSA classes. We brought on a couple new classes they're just getting filled right up.
You say OSA classes. What does that mean?
That is the Outdoor Skills Academy.
Okay, gotcha.
That goes through the visitor centers throughout the whole state, but we do a lot of them right out of the Carl T. We have everything from basic ice fishing to advanced ice fishing, turkey hunting, steelheading, anything that you can think of. Survival classes, bear hunting classes, wild foraging, all that. The wild foraging is just blowing up right now. There'll be 5 classes that I've put on myself this year for the wild forage, and there was 2 other classes, so it's a total of 8 classes this year we'll have for the wild mushrooms.
What are foragers looking for besides mushrooms?
Oh, there's lots of different plants. Basic plants you find in your yard, like dandelions are a superfood. You have plantain in your yard that works nice for mosquito bites and stuff like that, stops the itch. Just to antiseptics with pine pitch and the weed that grows in your yard, you pull it, the soapwort. I mean, that's all that stuff's really good, and it's being a lost art that people are now starting to come around and see that this stuff is really out there and it's really beneficial for us.
I like he's mentioning all the different types of classes, and we have all these classes on our website at CadillacMichigan.com. They create the events on Facebook, and they have them on their website, and then it funnels into ours. And so, like he said, like a lost art, like with all the technology we have, with all the indoor things that kids and adults, this is for people of any age. You have programming, so it's all, and there aren't many centers like this in the entire state. You're like one of how many?
pretty much all the visitor centers around the area, the DNR visitor centers, have some sort of programming going on with them. Our center, thankfully, we have so many skilled people that come to us. You know, we have John Zakryzek, just a fishing guru. I mean, that guy's got knowledge falling out of a bucket. He's a great guy. And Ed Selinsky the same way. You know, we're blessed to be able to have these people, you know, with us to be able to do these things.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect setting, set between two lakes on a canal. They have fishing equipment for I see at the end of the school year, the kids will field trip down to Carl T. Johnson. They'll be fishing in the canal. But the woods behind, I mean, the Heritage Trail behind it is just like a perfect setting for it. And not every community has this. And I think that's where, like you mentioned, Rich, like local people forget that we have this. We're very lucky to have this here in Cadillac. And Cadillac is a perfect place for a place like that.
You're right. And the Heritage Trail, you know, is such a diverse habitat back there. It has, you know, not old growth trees, but it has large growth trees that just transitions into kind of some wetland, into a upper hardwood growth, and then transitions back into wetland, back into conifer growth. The multitude of plants that's there and the animals that's there is incredible. And there's a little over 2 miles of trails there that it's nice to walk and nice to hike, and it's pretty easy walking.
And all year round. And so they have like the in the winter, even the lantern lit snowshoe hikes. Whether we have snow or not, you can have your hiking boots, or you can, if we luck out and there's enough snow, they have snowshoes that you can, on first come first serve basis, grab for yourself if you didn't have your own. So it's just a huge resource and very knowledgeable people that are running it. So we're happy to have them. And you've been remodeling too, right?
Yes, we've been remodeling some. It's been going slow. We have all new carpet through the center and everything. We're hoping to be getting some new lighting soon. I don't know when the date on that is, when that'll be complete. But yeah, it's just a slow process of getting it done.
What do you say, Jeff, to someone who is just walking into the building for the first time? What's your opening statement to introduce someone to the center?
Hi, welcome to the Carl T. Johnson Center. I'm Jeff. Can I help you?
Okay. So what's the first thing you show off?
As soon as they walk through the door, the building shows off for itself. We have mounts on the inside. We have elk and fish and ducks and everything that's in Michigan. We have there, the wildlife that's there, or that used to be there. We even have a caribou that was, because Michigan used to have caribou a long time ago.
Is it Chris Craft boats or older than that? Is it a canoe or?
Oh, the old DeSable River boat.
That's what it is.
Yes, that thing is beautiful.
It's like going into Lakeside Charlie's a little bit and seeing all those boats up there.
Yes, we have a lot of the old fishing reels and old stuff that they used to use, ice fishing and fly fishing and just any kind of fishing possible. It's in there. Most popular program that you have? And maybe after you answer that question, maybe the least known. The mushroom class is really picking up. We were getting tremendous amounts of people with the mushroom programming. Bear hunting clinic is really, really popular. Steelhead, fly fishing, that's right up there too. The trapping class is getting to be a big one as well. Mm-hmm. The one least popular, there's not really a least popular. I mean, there's times we have the class is full, and then be another time that might have 15, 16 people in it. But we consider that always success. If we can get that information to anybody out there, it's success.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a hands-on sort of learning too, which is I've sat in on a ice fishing clinic maybe, and they've got this stuff in their hands there, and then you're going to learn in the classroom, and then you're going to go across the street and make a hole in the ice if we have it.
Hopefully we do.
Yeah. And so it's really like a full-on experience in the learning part of it. Yeah. What do you have coming up, like what's your next batch of classes?
The next batch of classes, this coming weekend, but the weekend of the 14th, I have a mushroom clinic in Tequamanon Falls. That's going to be a good one. The class is full right now. Then the weekend after that, we have another mushroom program that's up to Porcupine Mountains, and that one's full. So that's just absolutely incredible to me. The 28th, we'll have another one here at the Carl T. Johnson Center. Then we have the whitetail processing clinic that is October 6th, And then we have the trapping clinics, the 12th and 13th. It'll be, the first day will be a basic class, and then the next day is going to be more of an advanced class to get people into the water and, learn how to take care of water animals. And then after that, we go into November 9th, we go into another whitetail processing clinic. And then after January, the basic hard water schools are going to start the ice fishing classes and advanced up all the way through the spring and up into the summer with everything.
What geographical area, because I hear you talking about things happening in the UP, what geographical area do you cover? Are you all over the state?
I'm all over the state.
Okay.
I'm liking that because it's getting my information that I've learned that I want to get to these people. I mean, if we don't teach young people and we don't get more people out doing it,
absolutely,
we're going to lose this lost art.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's really, really important. It's who we used to be. It's our heritage. It's the history that's actually getting lost.
Yeah.
So we really need to get this information out there. And I just work at this just to make sure people get this.
Yeah, and I don't know if this may not be your expertise, but since Ed can't join us today, like the new program, the fourth graders that get to visit, every fourth grader in the state is able to visit I don't want to say the wrong thing, but
the Nature Waits program.
The Nature Waits program.
Yeah, Nature Waits program is a really great program, and it does. Like you said, it gets every fourth grader a chance to get into a state park. We put on the programming for them, just to get the conservation issue out there for them. About teaching them about clean air, clean water, clean land, how we are, and kind of reinforcing that we are the stewards of the land and take care of it, so they can have places to play later on.
Yeah, that ties in well with everything that we're trying to do at the Visitors Bureau with responsible recreation and stewardship and tread lightly and leave no trace principles. And Caddy Bear is our stewardship mascot. And there's even a gift shop in the Carl T. Kathleen runs that. And we've got some of our Cadillac gear, shirts, sweatshirts, and things like that. So.
Jeff, where do people go to find out more about the programming at the Carl T. and, on a greater scale, the DNR statewide?
You can go to michigan.gov/DNR, and it'll have the whole page. You can figure out where you need to go from there. You can type in Outdoor Skills Academy, and that'll come up, and it'll tell you the classes that are coming up, programming, all of that stuff. If you can go on to, like she said, the
CadillacMichigan.com.
CadillacMichigan.com, and it'll tell you what programming we have up for the week. Because in the summer, like the spring and that, we have summer programs and programs throughout the entire summer that we bring kids in, or adults, so it's like staying in the area or over at the Mitchell State Park, that they can come over and they can do fishing, they can do pellet rifle shooting, they can do archery, they can do a trail hike, or doing the skulls in scat stuff. I mean, just learning about, or just take a nature hike and get educated on what tree species and what invasive species that are there, like garlic mustard and purple loosestrife and things like that that's there.
How'd you end up getting this job, Jeff? Because it sounds to me like this is, I mean, you're talking about things that you're passionate about, which to me is like the absolute perfect job, because you're an expert on this stuff. So how did you end up in the position
It's
you're in?
kind of a funny story. Another guy that works at the Carl T. Johnson Center, Francis Majak, introduced me to Ed, because Ed and Angela are married, which it's Frenchie, or Francis's, and Angela, brother and sister. So I met them through them. And then I started volunteering there for 100 Education and all that. And next thing I know, he looked at me and said, "You want to work here?" Sure. And about 5 minutes later, after he talked to everybody, I had the job.
Wow.
It's been a lifelong passion of mine to be able to get this out, because I've watched the decline. I've been an outdoorsman my entire life. Mm-hmm. Entire life. I was trapping since I was 8 years old. So everything outdoors has always come naturally to me, and I'm just watching the decline of this stuff, because the monetary value of pelts and things are going down, and the incidences of those animals are rising. People will not do it because of the monetary value that they're not going to get. Well, they're raiding the chicken houses, they're getting into gardens, and a lot of it is great table fare, and people don't realize that. I mean, 100 years ago, that's what people would have for dinner, and it's a loss. It's getting to be a lost thing, and I don't want it to be lost. So I'm doing everything I can to.
So this is personal for you.
This is very personal to me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's been fascinating to spend a little time visiting with you, and I hope people get a chance to interact with the DNR and learn a lot more about these programs.
I appreciate it. I hope they do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll stop there. We're going to spend the last half of Adventures in Cadillac talking about things happening over the next month or so with Lindsay. But gosh, what a fascinating chat with Jeff. Lots and lots of great information.
Yeah, that center, like I see something new every time I go in there, and everybody's so helpful and friendly. And like you said, like with the remodel, I haven't been in there yet, and so it'll be good to get back in there and see all the changes. And it's just such a nice resource for our residents as well as our visitors. So they get a lot of traffic, and we're happy to have them.
We have what was in my estimation, a beautiful summer, a rainy summer, rainier than usual summer in our rearview mirror. But now thoughts turn to fall. Here we go.
It's still warm. I mean, no, we've had, like, I'd say across the board, even the rain that you mentioned, it didn't really affect too many events. I remember there being some events or some rain at some events, but it didn't really hurt anyone. So August was super busy. Even with the back to school stuff, everybody's still trying to push in their final trips before school starts. And so we've seen a lot of traffic. And I'm estimating, and we'll have better numbers later, but I can't believe it wasn't the busiest we've seen. So Manton Harvest Festival celebrated 100 years this past month, so that's a huge milestone. There aren't many that make it that far.
Right.
And then we have a lot of our summer music series that did well, and they're winding down now. We've had two now longtime festivals, Hoxseyville Music Festival and the Earthworks Harvest Gathering announced their final year, which came as a surprise to many of us. And so, like I said, not everything makes it 100 years, and not everything was meant to. And there were such successful runs at what they did. And the people behind them are so talented and creative that I wouldn't be surprised if something else is born, coming out of it. And so that's what we've kind of have been hearing, and we'll hope for, and we'll support them in the next incarnations of whatever, because all the music between those two events combined, that's really something that's homegrown, kind of cultivated stuff, and a lot of our talent is just getting bigger and more widely known, and it's really special what those guys were able to do in each of those. It
is a cliche, but when one door closes, another opens.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, it's sad to see him go, but at the same time, I'm excited to see, what new comes out of it. And so, yes, the last Earthworks will be coming up on September 20th through the 22nd. And then we have another unique to Cadillac, I would say, Fish Decoy World Carving Championships, which if you have not seen these fish decoys, they look as real as a mount in Carl T. Johnson Center. They're carved out of wood, and these people come from all over the country. They actually ship their decoys, their wooden decoys, to Cadillac to be judged, whether they're coming in person or not. So this is truly, it's designated as a world championship event, and so we're having them back for the second year. And here they moved up from downstate, and it's home of Oscar Peterson, a world famous decoy carving expert from a long, long time ago. So that'll be cool to have that. That's just next week.
So this all happening next week. And how many days, Lindsay?
Just a couple of days. So they all come into town. They're an association themselves, and so they have their members that they communicate regularly. So they're doing some like room trading. Some of these pieces are very valuable, and so they'll be on display for the public. With some judging that you can kind of watch too. These not only are they pretty to look at, they're fully functional decoys, and they don't float. They don't float the decoys. They swim. They actually swim. So like, you can use them to fish.
That is fascinating that someone can actually carve a what looks like a fish out of wood that actually mimics what a fish does in the water.
Yeah, it's really neat to watch. And so Al Nelson is a kind of a student, or was a student of Oscar Peterson, and he's getting up there a bit. And now like Scott Buckmaster behind him too, like local Cadillac guys that are just incredibly talented, and they carve every week at the Carl T. Johnson Center. If they're not outside in the city park, you can find them there on a weeknight carving together as a group.
So yeah, mark that down on your calendar for next weekend here in Cadillac.
Yep, everything is all on CadillacMichigan.com. If you go to our events page.
Going to be at the Lake Cadillac Resort, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And it's right on the lake shore. It's a really nice setting for that. We have the Beer Festival is coming up, and at the end of the month on September 28th. And
I have seen a lot of calls for volunteers on Facebook and things like that. Are you is the Beer Fest still looking for volunteer help?
I think, well, I'm not going to say no. I mean, you can always reach out and then they can tell you no, but I can tell you that we have more volunteers than we've ever had, but we're asking for more than we've ever needed. So we're sitting pretty good, but.
And we were just talking about how sometimes festivals and events come to an early end, and a lot of the reason is because of a lack of volunteerism.
Absolutely. And it's not, so like you see these things come to an end, and then the uproar of, well, I didn't know they needed help and things like that, and which can be a legitimate,
Can I say that's exactly what happened with the Freedom Festival in Cadillac?
Yep.
We lost it for a year, and there was a small group of people that said, we can't have this.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And so the Cadillac Area Visitors Bureau, also Kathy, the director, and the board of the Visitors Bureau also serves as oversight for the Cadillac Area Festivals and Events, a nonprofit organization. And after Hoxeyville and Earthworks and our experiences with the beer festival and knowing that from the other side, and just I had a meeting yesterday with Blueberry Festival representative, Cafe, which is Cadillac Area Festivals and Events. So we're like, that's going to be a focus moving forward for us, is giving them tools, training, rounding them up together so that they can share information. And like it should be a cooperative experience, getting all of the event organizers together to support each other. And then also Cafe will be rolling out our regranting funds to these events for things that they need, banners or pop-up tents, or things that they can use year over year that are, the costs can be substantial if your event happens one day a year or 2 days a year. And there's a lot of different events looking for a lot of different sponsors.
and that is definitely the case with Harrietta, because that is a one-day Saturday event.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And so they're a great little event, and they're growing. And so like we're here to help. The Visitors Bureau is help on the marketing side, and then Cafe can assist on potentially funding side and resources for their organizers. And so that's really the goal of that organization moving forward. And I think because we're hearing the same things from all these different, they're a little bit siloed. And so we'd like to bring them together and know that they can benefit from working together. And
Wonderful.
not against each, not competing for, say, scholarships, sponsorships.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it's nice because when we all work together, it's all going to turn out way better than if we're all operating under our own little umbrella in our own little vacuum.
That's what we've found at the Visitors Bureau over this short little time that our team has been together, last 2-3 years. I'll just go into our ORV update because we have an update every month. It's just continues to be very well received, and the cooperation, it was not easy, to get all of these different organizations speaking to each other and working together. But what's come out of a 2 years long process is just the envy of a lot of other communities and the scenic ride, that there's nothing like it in the state that we know of. And it's just, the riders are enjoying it. People are coming here to do this specifically. They're staying in our hotels, they're eating in our restaurants, they're supporting those off the beaten path kind of businesses. And so as we're still running off of our earned media, our free promotions just from the PR side of it. And so now fall will be our first season of paid advertising to promote it, which is kind of insane because we're already through 10,000 brochures. It's just in such high demand. And so we are reprinting 6,000 more brochures to get us through the end of the year.
Where do those go?
They go to different welcome centers all throughout the state,
okay.
But we get requests into our website every day for them. And so Marcy's mailing them out in the mail a couple times a week. She's got stacks of envelopes on her desk that go out, and it's such a and you see the online link shared in these ORV communities and the groups online, and it just spreads like organically. And that has just been, we didn't want to put a big paid push in the beginning because we weren't sure how it would be received. I mean, we were optimistic, but you don't know until you put it out there. And so all the feedback we've gotten has been very positive. And so we look forward to, we've got MLive came here last week, and Pure Michigan came here last week with their video teams to capture footage. We got to ride along with them, and we grabbed our friends from the Chamber and the Alliance for Economic Success and our colleagues, and we all got into some side-by-sides in our caddy wagon, our Jeep, and it was a beautiful day. And all those will be coming out probably in the next week or two, and that's at the state level, So after that, and as fall color ramps up, we'll be pushing. There's even a Jeep tour with like Boone's store and Bristol store and Miyotaka store, and that is happening in the middle of October. It's a Jeep fun run, and we just made the Facebook event yesterday, and it has 250 people tied to it, and that's as many as there were total all of last year. This is their second year, so I just think we're going to see an explosion of Jeeps and ORVs come, and it's going to be really positive for the tourism economy here.
We are reminded every holiday weekend, and really every weekend from Memorial Day to Labor Day, and then again when the colors are at their peak, why people want to be where we live.
Yes.
Every weekend.
Yes. It's like to say it's slowing down after summer, but fall is a whole animal all on itself. And so right up until, deer season, we're going to be pushing our fall promotions and fall golf and fall paddling, which turns into winter paddling. There's so many things that we can do in all 4 seasons, and there aren't a whole lot of Michigan destinations that are able to promote themselves in that way, because they either they're too small, they shut down for the winter, or they're on the Lake Michigan coastline, and they don't have, we're lucky we have Cabernet Peaks. We've just got a little bit of everything, and so we don't really have a down season, especially now with this ORV in the spring. I can't wait for the spring. Now that we'll be through one cycle of our scenic ride, and we'll have our 2025 version of our map, and work to expand it into new areas, and that'll just grow year after year. The mapping of it alone will grow, and the word will spread. And but again, leading with the stewardship and sustainability. It's not bringing people here at all costs or at any cost. It's the messaging behind it and how we want them to recreate responsibly and respect, the assets that we have here and the nature and the quality of life we have here, because not everybody has this.
Important dates that we know. You've got your notes on your phone there, but important dates as we wrap up here in the next minute or so.
Oh, man.
Important dates we need to know in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
I would say, and this is off the top of my head because I didn't put the dates in my phone, but I should have. Beer Festival is September 28th, and the Fish Decoy Championships at Lake Cadillac Resort, that is happening on the 13th and the 14th. And those are the days that are open to the public, and it's right on Lake Cadillac Lakeshore. It's a great event to see in person. The Jeep run through Boone and all the country stores, that is middle of October, I believe the 10th through the 12th. And then the last Earthworks Harvest Gathering, September 20th through the 22nd. If you can make it, go do it, because that's it. So
Yeah. So many things to do. There's no reason for anybody to say there's nothing to do.
never.
'Cause
Can we end the show on that note every time?
We
Because
should,
We have
yes.
hundreds of events in our big and small. So I rattled off the festivals. We have art classes. We have Carl T. Johnson's programming. We have middle of the week, hour-long fun things to do, just little things and then the big things. So check out the calendar because it's a comprehensive calendar.
We often think of this show as preaching to the choir because we're local, but a lot of local people don't really know what's going on. So I'm really glad that we have a chance to do this once a month.
Yes, and I'm glad to just have it be a conversation with you because you are a very well-connected person, and I know the stuff that we talk about gets passed along even beyond this radio show, like in the conversations that you have. So
It does. It does.
all right.
Lindsay, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.
Lindsay Westorp, and a big thanks to our guest, Jeff Lash.
Yes.
From the DNR.
Yes.
So, and if you missed any of this show, go on to YouTube. It'll be posted here later on in the afternoon here on 1071 The Drive's YouTube page. Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you very much, Rich.
Let's see. Next time we get together will be the first Saturday in October. We'll see you then.
All right.
Adventures in Cadillac on 1071 The Drive.